This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
I'll focus on changing conditions tonight as snow, freezing rain, and sleet arrive in central Indiana.
The Senate acquits the president on both articles of impeachment. That means President Trump will remain in office, the latest in moments.
I pray every night that these people are brought to justice because my daughter didn't deserve this.
A mother's plea for justice. Her daughter was shot and killed. The killer is still on the loose. Her message for you tonight.
A mother fighting for her son, saying there is a lack of resources for LGBTQ teens. What she's asking for and how one local community is responding.
For the first time, a Tri-West high school teacher appears in court accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student. Call 6 investigates Kara Kenny with a full report.
But first, it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. A wintry mix has now arrived in central Indiana. INDOT has its full call out of 55 trucks salting the roads around the area. Those crews will be out all evening and into the overnight hours, so you need to slow down and use some caution out there.
And we are joined by Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. Kevin, what's the timeline for this wintry mix and what kind of impact do you think it will have in the area?
It is happening now, and the impact, I think, is in the next, well, it's happening as we speak, as road temperatures change, and I do think instead of plowing, they're dropping that salt. Just let me show you what's happened in the last hour or two. This is just outside the RTV6 back door. One of the branches on the trees, you can see the ice that is forming there. We've got to be cautious here. I'm looking at road temperatures here recently, and they're updated about every 10 minutes on the Department of Transportation site. Road surface temperatures are above freezing, but the bridges have now reached freezing or below. That's where we can get in trouble in a hurry. You don't think it's icy, but it is on the bridges, and I think these slick conditions will continue. Just talked to Dan Gadberry up in Grant County. Side roads very treacherous there. To the north we go. This is a mix of sleet and snow with reports, and visibilities have dropped in spots. Then you've got your little ribbon here of pink, which is some freezing rain. And then to the south, also just plain old rain. Between 7 and 11, we'll continue with this most consistently, and I think with the biggest impact north of Interstate 70.
An historic evening in the United States. The Senate has voted to acquit the president on both articles of impeachment. Well, this ends the third presidential trial in American history. The bottom line here, President Donald Trump will not be removed from office. The impeachment process coming to a close after months of investigations and claims that the president tied military aid to Ukraine in exchange for investigating his political rival. The only surprise in today's vote, Republican Mitt Romney broke from the party and voted guilty on the charge of abuse of power. But again, President Trump was ultimately found not guilty today on both articles of impeachment, which means he will remain in office. As for Indiana Senators, Republicans Mike Braun and Todd Young both voted not guilty on each article of impeachment. They stayed in line with the Republican Party.
Breaking news tonight, Democrat Josh Owens has withdrawn from Indiana's gubernatorial race. Instead, he says he will put his support behind fellow Democrat Dr. Woody Myers, who is also in the race for governor. Owens says Myers has the experience, the background, and the vision for success in Indiana. Of course, Democrats will be going up against current Indiana Governor Republican Eric Holcomb in the November election. Now to a call to action tonight. A mother is pleading for answers. She wants her daughter's killer brought to justice. The 26-year-old woman was shot and killed just days after Christmas. Her 3-year-old son was also injured. RTV6's Nicole Griffin is sitting down with her grieving mother tonight.
It's not worth it. You took her life. She can never come back.
At just 26 years old, Alexis Edwards, a young mother of 2 boys, was killed right outside of her home.
Her kids can never have a mother. I lost my daughter. I lost a part of me. I birthed her.
Her 3-year-old son was also shot but survived. It happened on December 29th. Her mother, Ruby Berry, says Alexis was inside of her car near 52nd Street and Georgetown Road when the shooting happened.
Broad daylight, a woman is shot 6 times with her child in the car, and there's no arrest, there's nothing. I really haven't heard much from the police, and I'm asking for help. For justice for my daughter. She deserves it. Her life matters.
Berry says she believes there are people out there that know who killed Alexis. Just hours before the shooting, 2 men and 2 girls knocked on her front door in the middle of the night.
She went outside to try to stick up for herself because they were trying to damage her car.
Barry says they were looking for her close friend. After that, words were exchanged on social media. It was just hours later, around 1:45 p.m., police say the shooting happened.
The man walked up to the car and had some words with her. She was on the phone with a friend of hers when this altercation happened. He shot her 6 times and shot my grandson, my 3-year-old grandson as well. So this is a monster.
IMPD says detectives are still actively working the case. They hope this story will foster more attention and someone new will come forward with information.
She did not deserve this. She really didn't.
Working for you on the Northwest Side, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
And if you know something about who killed Alexis Edwards, contact Crime Stoppers. You don't have to leave your name or information. You can just leave a tip by calling 317-262-TIPS. The family has also created a GoFundMe page called Justice for Alexis in an effort to raise money for a reward for information leading to an arrest.
With suicide rates as they are, or attempted suicide rates as they are, these teens need somebody that they can talk to.
New at 6, a Pendleton mom is taking action for her son tonight, saying there is a lack of resources for LGBTQ teens in Madison County. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum is working for you to find out why she says more support is needed and what the response from the community has been so far.
My son is a sophomore at Pendleton Heights.
This is 15-year-old Gage Downey.
He's a fantastic kid. I don't know anybody that would speak ill of him.
His mom says he does well in school and is a talented cheerleader, but she says things haven't been easy for him.
My son tried to commit suicide almost 2 weeks ago because he felt so alone. He didn't feel like he could reach out to anyone.
When Gage left the hospital, Downey says they told her to find an LGBTQ support group for him. But when she started looking for one, she didn't find much.
Madison County is huge. There's no reason why there shouldn't be something locally that these kids can be part of.
So she took to Facebook and says the response was overwhelming.
I've had so many people reach out and say, hey, we've gone through this, either with the suicide attempt or, having a child that leads an alternative lifestyle.
Realizing Gage isn't alone, she's made it her mission to get an LGBTQ youth support group in Pendleton.
Being a teenager is tough anyhow, but being an LGBTQ teenager in Indiana is really tough.
Chris Paulson runs Indiana Youth Group based out of Indianapolis. She says LGBTQ youth are 5 times more likely to contemplate suicide.
It's scary. It's difficult to know that that's the reality of LGBTQ youth in this state.
So they do everything they can to support young people. The organization also helps schools set up GSAs, or Genders and Sexuality Alliance groups, which is exactly what Gage's mom wants to see at his school.
No judgment, unconditional love. I want that for him.
She and Gage hope that by sharing their story, they can inspire others to get involved. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Well, the principal at Pendleton Heights High School tells us they used to have a gay-straight alliance group, but it has not been active for several years. She says parents, students, and teachers wanting to get involved can contact school leaders. A Tri-West High School teacher and football coach accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student appeared in court this afternoon for the first time.
Call 6 Investigates first told you about the allegations facing Tyler Bruce this summer. Our Kara Kenny has been tracking this case from the start and joins us now with today's developments. Kara.
Court documents accuse Tyler Bruce of having an inappropriate relationship with a 17-year-old student. We asked Bruce to respond to the charges today. With his attorney by his side, Tyler Bruce walked into the Hendricks County Courthouse Wednesday. Bruce is currently on unpaid suspension with the Northwest Hendricks School Corporation. The district is taking steps to fire the teacher following charges for child seduction and obstruction of justice.
Mr. Bruce, can you say anything about the charges?
Bruce had nothing to say to RTV6. Court documents say he solicited illicit Snapchat photos from a 17-year-old student and touched her under her clothing on several occasions. And prosecutors say Bruce told the 17-year-old no one would believe her if she reported him. When deputies got a warrant for Bruce's phone, court documents say they discovered the SIM card was missing, which is why he was charged with obstruction of justice. Wednesday in court, the judge entered a plea of not guilty for Bruce and advised him of his rights. The judge also also reminded him not to contact the alleged victim in the case. Several of the 17-year-old's family members also appeared in court but declined to comment. As Call 6 Investigates has reported, the school corporation is now the focus of a federal Title IX investigation by the Office for Civil Rights. They're looking at how the school district handles sexual misconduct allegations. Bruce's trial is scheduled for April 22nd here in Hendricks County Court. I'm Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny.
And Bruce is due back in court on March 11th. We will continue to follow every development in this story.
Hiring Hoosiers tonight. A huge announcement from Indianapolis International Airport means 55 new jobs are likely by the end of the year 2023. Contour Airlines will begin flying out of Indy this June. The airline said today at the Routes Americas 2020 conference that it will create new nonstop flights from Indianapolis to Nashville, Tennessee, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh. On top of the new flights, Contour Airlines will set up a new airline base in Indy. The company says they expect to hire for 55 new jobs by the end of 2023.
Contour's 3 nonstop destinations, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Nashville, represent greater connection for Indianapolis residents. More than ever, we are a city where you can make your mark and stay connected to family and friends around the country.
Contour Airlines will fly 30-seat jets from Indy to those regional cities. The company says every seat has 36 inches of legroom. There will be a complimentary in-flight snack and a beverage service. Once the service begins in June, it will give flyers a total of 53 nonstop destinations from Indy, which is an all-time high for the airport, by the way.
Tonight, an investigation is underway after a student brought an unloaded gun to Pike High School. A spokesperson for Pike Township Schools tells us administrators were looking into suspected vaping at Pike High School today when the handgun was found inside the student's backpack. Again, the school district says the gun was not loaded. Pike Township School Police took the student into custody. There is no word yet on a possible punishment for that student.
There are often barriers in the way of getting a meaningful job.
And for people with special needs, they sometimes face a number of obstacles. But an organization in one Indiana community is showing that people with disabilities can work.
Also ahead here, Brownsburg native Drew Storen is preparing for his 10th season in professional baseball. But this is a different kind of offseason than he's used to. His story coming up in our Sports Extra Spotlight.
And I appreciate your help on Facebook. A number of you checking in. I got to put my glasses on actually to read these. Upland, freezing rain there. You go to snow, poor visibility in Lafayette. This is what it looks like on radar. The worst road conditions are north of Indy for now. We'll talk about how that may change in the next few hours coming up.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative is highlighting barriers in the workplace. Barriers can keep people who are able to work from getting meaningful jobs.
And for adults with special needs, finding a job and a place to call home after high school can be a challenge. But in Bargersville, one local organization is breaking that barrier, showing the community that people with disabilities can work.
Well, it's fun. I like to work here with my friends.
Not going to find a shop where you receive more love.
It's a cool car.
Oh, yeah.
Nestled in a quiet corner of Main Street in Old Bargersville, a quaint shop is filled with busy hands.
I've been in business for a little over a year, and we are a unique boutique for happy, funky, cool people and their pets.
The Hope Gallery provides more than special handmade gifts to the community. It provides a place for people like Alex Parker.
As a parent, what does that mean to you?
We don't want parents to feel like we felt when we started this, and that there's just no place for our child to be after high school.
Alex's mom, Jennifer, created the Alex and Allie Foundation with a mission to empower and enhance the lives of young adults living with autism and developmental disabilities. And their first big project, the Hope Gallery, is a place where adults with special needs can learn job skills and just belong.
We decided we'll just start creating jobs for them. They want to work. They want to be employed. They want to contribute to the community.
Here, they run all aspects of the store, from creating these handmade pieces to counting money, to running the cash register and assisting guests.
Would you like a receipt?
No, that's okay.
Would you like a little bag?
Please.
Okay.
Chelsea Davis is a team member working here for 6 months now, gaining skills.
When you go for an interview, you want to tell them that you have skills of learning how to count money.
Chelsea is thriving from this opportunity to work, and she can handle a lot of responsibilities.
A lot of times I'm here running it alone, and it's been, sometimes it's quiet, but then other times it's like, hey, I can do it. It helps me get more skills to learn how to run a business, and this is what it's all about.
They want to be a part of the community, and the community needs them. They are such wonderful people. The community needs to see that they have skills, they have value, they have worth, and we're showing the community that.
Working for you, Lauren Casey, RTV6.
Thank you, Lauren. And Jennifer tells us with 25 team members currently, they are always getting inquiries. So we have big news to share. They are starting a second big project, Happy Hounds Doggy Daycare. This will be located off State Road 135 and Stop 11 Road, a doggy daycare run entirely by adults with disabilities.
Well, you've had snow and poor visibility in Lafayette, freezing rain in most areas, starting from the north side of Marion County all the way to the north, mixing with snow or sleet and also some snow. That's why we have 41 different cancellations. You can find at theindychannel.com, also on the RTV6 app. These are for evening events, nothing for tomorrow as of yet. Rain, snow, and freezing rain. I can add to that sleet, all in the mix right now across central Indiana. And the change, temperatures getting colder. I want to point out one thing. This is probably the heaviest burst that we'll see for a little bit, all from Indy northeast. But look into western Indiana. There will be a break here. Won't end, but this will be a break that will come in behind this initial burst. But as we drift to the north, the heavier snow showers have limited visibility down to a half a mile, as you can see in Peru. Lafayette at one point had quarter-mile visibility. That's all improved just a bit. Temperatures have decreased, though, and it's that combination of the sleet, freezing rain, and snow with this, road temperatures that have reached freezing or below. These are the air temperatures, but road temperatures have reacted as well now, and we've got lots of reports of very treacherous conditions north of Indy. To the south, temperatures at the surface still above the freezing mark, 34 in Bedford, 32, right at the number there in Greensburg. Between 7 and 11, remember what I just showed you on the radar, what's happening now? It showed the drier air coming into the state. Then between 7 and 11, that lifts to the north, so much of central southern Indiana with a little break, other than some very light precipitation. Then this kind of sags to the south through the overnight. We will have that light freezing rain. When we wake up in the morning, I think 1 to 3-inch snowfall range from north and west of a Terre Haute to Indy to Muncie line, less than an inch elsewhere, but you will have that light ice accumulation. Use the app then for any cancellations or delays that may be there in the morning. Storm Shield app is good anywhere you go. Thursday planner, any wintry mix will end in the morning, but temperatures below freezing. We may see some redevelop in the afternoon, some snow with temperatures struggling to get to the freezing mark. 7-day planner, can't rule out a little light snow Saturday, 35. Then we're dry and a little warmer. Sunday, Monday, right at 40 degrees. We'll be back up to 47 by Tuesday. I see some sunshine in your sportscast, Dave.
We'll take it. Going to be a very busy May for Team Penske. And then add this to it. Scott McLaughlin, 26-year-old from New Zealand, will make his IndyCar Series debut during the GMR Grand Prix May 9th on the Speedway's road course. McLaughlin is the defending Supercars champion for Team Penske, a two-time title winner, tested in IndyCar last month. He'll also test in Austin, Texas next week. What an opportunity, though, for that rising star. Good evening to you. The grind never ends if you're in professional sports, even more so if you're coming back from injury or surgery. Drew Storen's career has taken him from the Nationals to the Mariners, Blue Jays, and Reds. And after things didn't work out with the Royals organization last summer, he's ready to get back to baseball. In tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight. While the sky says winter in Indiana, inside Pro X in Westfield, the sound is all spring. That's where you'll find Brownsburg's Drew Storen fine-tuning before spring training next week.
Anytime you get to this time of year, you kind of feel like you're getting towards the end of school and, get to go down to spring break a little bit and enjoy that Florida weather.
Over 2 years since his Tommy John surgery, the scar still exists on his right elbow. Wife Brittany doesn't mind.
Yeah, luckily she's not too much into elbows, so that's
He just signed a minor league deal with the Philadelphia Phillies, reuniting with, among others, his Nationals teammate Bryce Harper.
And having Brian Price as my manager in Cincinnati and now having him as a pitching coach, there's familiarity there. And then you talk about having Bryce there too. So going to a new organization is usually pretty foreign, but this is about as familiar as I'm going to be going somewhere new.
It's pitch after pitch, throw after throw, relentless on a daily basis. He had the same determination a year ago, but this year, it's different.
How much further along are you from then to, is it night and day?
Yeah, I think so. I think the big part that I didn't realize, in the rehab process, you work to just get healthy and get your arm going again. And I wasn't necessarily competitive ready. When I'm on, I close my eyes and throw it, and it goes where I want. When I didn't have that last year, I was, it was kind of take cover if I was going to do that.
Locked and reloaded, armed and ready. And Drew Storm can't wait.
Your expectations this spring are what?
Just go out there and compete and, just kind of give it my all and, see if I can make the team. That's the exciting part. It's a good opportunity for me to do that. But, like I said, just kind of get back out there and, I feel real comfortable with where I'm at, which I think is a big part of it.
He can still throw the heat. Now, if nothing else, it's the opportunity that Drew is cherishing right now and perhaps a chance to help other young pitchers, which ultimately might be his next career path as a coach in the bigs. Busy night of hoop. Butler, Purdue, Pacers, Victor Oladipo might start tonight up in Toronto. All the highlights at 11. Until then, the news at 6 continues after this.
Keller and Keller.
Well, sleet and some freezing rain. This is just outside the RTV6 studio. You see a little light icing on the power lines there. Let me show you a weather now camera view, and that's just iced over. So very tricky conditions, Indy North right now.
Stay inside if you can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get set up.